Welcome to Wired Model. It's Jericho. I know it's been a while since I created a video, but I just wanted to talk about what happened to me recently. Basically, on August 18, we went to the Ridge for our last track day for this season. So we've done like what? I think 5 track days this year. Basically, I ended up crashing this Panigale 1199 at the track. It was at turn 14, right before, or turn 13 actually, right before you go down to the actual ridge. So what I remember is that somehow my bike fishtailed as I was braking for that turn, and as soon as when I finally got control of it back, another rider clipped me, or I clipped him. I don't really remember, but they were saying that I was in the right, racing line. But we collided, and I ended up getting thrown off the motorcycle. I think I landed on my right shoulder here. I also think that I passed out for a little bit, because the next thing I know was that an ambulance was coming. And then I was very disoriented. I was talking to the EMT. They were checking my shoulder, took out my my suit, and gave me like basically a sling, right? So I went to the urgent care after that, and I found out that my clavicle broke. But I didn't really appreciate the extent of that injury yet. All I know that he basically told me that it was broken, right? But to me, it doesn't really feel like it was broken. I was feeling some pain and discomfort. However, it's not as painful as I thought it would be. A few days later, I finally got to see a chiropractor, an orthopedic, and they did another X-ray, and I finally got to see the clear picture of it. So it was broken into 3 places. Actually, I don't need a surgery, is what they told me. So I can, usually these type injuries like this can be, done through self-healing. So basically, I just have to either not move it a lot. Sling, I can wear a sling if I want to, but it's optional. So I'm gonna go back and see them at the end of September, I believe. That was my second crash. My first crash was back in I think it was last year at the or 2 years ago at the Pacific Raceways. I walked away from it without injury. I just had a sore thumb. That's it. So this bike, I actually bought this from a friend. He doesn't do track days, and he doesn't, he wanted to get a more upright motorcycle. I wanted to get a Panigale again, because I don't really want to keep using my Street Fighter to the track. So I ended up getting this from him the night before the track day. I didn't really get to know the bike. I just thought that they're all the same. But there were some modifications done on this bike. Basically, first, the spacer, or the free play on throttle was removed using a spacer, so the throttle is very responsive. So during my initial 2 sessions, I already had a fishtail, but a very brief fishtail when I tried to downshift at a corner. However, I didn't realize that my throttle was still engaged, because I was so used to the free play on my Street Fighter and my 899 back then, and even on my Monster. So I don't really like removing it. I actually like that feature. Coming up from a high speed to a hard brake on that particular corner where I crashed, I usually just use my front brake. I don't use my back brake. So however, in this case, I noticed that the front brake on this motorcycle wasn't biting as hard as I wanted to. So I ended up using both brakes at the same time. So what I think the reason why it fishtailed is because I was engaging the back brake too much and not the front brake. right? So that was probably the reason why I fishtailed. Other than so, I'm gonna show you the damage now on this motorcycle. All right, so here's the damage. You see, it's on the right side of the motorcycle, and mind you, I was actually turning. I was about to turn left when I got clipped. So you see here on the fairing right away, there's a lot of scratches. So there's a. Luckily, this is actually a custom fairing that my friend put on this motorcycle when he bought it. He still has the original fairing, so I'm just gonna probably put that back. And then you see that my front brake and the brake fluid reservoir is broken, and even the this part right here, which I will have to replace, and of course the this handlebar right here. I'm probably just gonna replace the whole thing. And then luckily the actual reservoir are, I'm gonna go right here. The actual reservoir right there, rhizoma, is not broken. That what happened is the hose disconnected from the reservoir itself, and the fluid basically sprayed all over the place. Luckily, and you know what brake fluid does to plastic, it basically ruins it. So now you'll see it. I don't know if you can see it right here, but you'll see the black plastic has a lot of spots in it now. That's from the brake fluid itself. The tank has that scratch right here, or that damage. I can leave it as it is, or just put a cover. But eventually, I'm probably just gonna, or I will probably just try to see if I can buy a replacement for it. Then you'll see this engine cover right here. It got saved by the slider, that black slider right there, the protector. There's a little bit of scratch on the top there, but that can be ignored. Then my foot peg right here is also broken, so I will have to replace that as well. Again, more fairing issues right there. You can see it. Sorry, and then the wheel itself, there's really nothing much going on in there. I just need to clean it up. And then the front wheel, I don't think I need to do anything with it. I just have to check, make sure everything is still aligned. My fork is still pretty good. It's still in pretty good shape, so that's good. All right, so yeah, other than that, the bike is still pretty solid, and it's pretty fast. It's actually, it's more the power. If I'm gonna compare against the Street Fighter, the power on this bike is raw. It's like you really can tell that there's not a lot of electronic assist compared to my Street Fighter there. This is a 2012 model, so it doesn't have an ABS at the front. It only has a quick shifter going up. There's digital traction control and all that. When I used this bike, I actually only had it set to sports, not racing. So it didn't have a lot of power, or than it normally would. But yeah, there's definitely lesser assist or electronic assist on this bike, which is for track. You want to be able to really use your skill, right? Unfortunately for me, my skill ran out. And also my luck ran out, and I ended up crashing it. However, I like this bike. I'm gonna keep it for a while, along with my Street Fighter there, and hopefully I'll be able to fix it by before the next season. So now I'm not riding at all. I'm just basically on the healing phase. The pain is gone. So now I'm just waiting for my for my range of movements to come back. So right now I can move my arm, but I cannot like level it against my shoulder or even raise my arm up. So that's the one that I'm gonna be working on. And they said that when I come back at the end of this September, I'm gonna be doing some exercises to make sure that it's healing properly, right? But yeah, lesson learned for me is get to know the bike first. Like if you are not very familiar with the bike that you're using, especially the track, probably try not to push yourself too much. I was really pushing myself than I normally would. Back then again, I'm so used to the Street Fighter where I have a quick downshifter, so I didn't really have to worry about downshifting, and my front brake was pretty good, and I'm very familiar with the bike, right? I know how it behaves, and also I was very careful as well because it's a new bike and it's not really fully paid off yet. So I don't really push it too hard. But this bike, yeah, I kind of went above and beyond with it when it comes to pushing it, and I paid the price. Luckily, the bike wasn't too damaged, and it can be easily fixed. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll see you guys at the next video. Thank you.